Three, two, one. We're back. Absolute mess going on here. Cabin Fever 2025. I did not brush my teeth today. I don't know if I even brushed my teeth yesterday. Does it really matter? I don't know. Welcome back.
Good thing we're not doing this live then, huh, Dave?
Yeah, it could have been brutal. So, yeah, obviously plenty to talk about. Champions League was kicked off the last couple of days in fine fashion, down to I guess this was round two of the playoff teams, right? And got Messi in Kansas City tonight, where it should be like 3 degrees, I think.
Oh,
I don't think
dang.
he'll
Yep. Yeah.
play. I don't think he'll play. And then the little rewind on the EPL, including today's match, which I didn't get to catch, but sounded like it was a pretty good one, amongst other things. So where do we start, guys?
I mean, we have a
Well, we kicked
we
it
we
off
have
last weekend
Right?
with the St. Valentine's Day massacre in Brighton.
The lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks ago we went there and lost in the FA Cup,
There
2-1.
being Brighton, right?
Yes, we
Yep.
played away 2 weeks in a row and we lost 2 weeks in a row. Not great from us. Matoma had a sick goal straight from the keeper. I don't know if you remember, if you can remember
Oh,
that far back.
that was a nice goal. That first
Took it straight
touch
from the keeper. Yeah, that touch was just disgusting, and
over
he
his
played it
head.
right out to Alaba and put it in the back of the net. 1-0 down early away. It's never good, and we didn't create much
so
going
what's the
forward.
state of
So
the union? What is going on from probably around Christmas time where we recorded down at Social Capital, things were looking good, and something just took a 180. I don't know. I don't watch enough of your games in specific to know what's going on.
yeah, we may have been found out a little bit. The system may have run dry. I don't know. Palmer is our main guy, and when you play a team second time around, they know who they have to man mark and who they need to focus in on, and that happens quite a bit with us. But Nico Jackson's out, some other injuries, so we're not fully healthy, so we don't get to play the same way, and we're just not that good either. So that doesn't help. That doesn't help much, and we're young and inexperienced, so kind of things add up, and you don't expect to just go win and dominate on the road anymore.
Well, no, not that good. Welcome to the club. This way, that way, that way. I mean, I don't think any of us can toot our horns, right? Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we talked about it towards the end of last year. It's like now it's time to kind of get in that general area where you at least have a shot at finishing where you'd like to. I mean, right now, what, Alan, you're what, 15th? We're 12th or 13th. You're
Yeah, we're
still up there in the table, Trent,
we're just
but
aiming for 11th. So
God, I mean, the bar has just been lowered so much. Uh, it's crazy. What the hell is going on?
well,
I'm not sure, but you guys played over the weekend.
Yeah, and like Alan, as we were joking before we started recording, it was ugly. I had already said it was going to be a circus act. I just expected that to be 4-4. And quite honestly, it probably could have been if some of these bozos would have made their shots, but it still was just sloppy, ugly. I think we came out more organized in the first half, and then we went dead for a while. And then second half, it seemed like United kind of took charge, or if that's what you want to call it, at least enforced their will a little bit more on us. We got sloppy, lost the ball a lot, weren't winning the 50-50 balls. But at the end of the day, we just pulled it out of our ass. And, if you're a Spurs fan right now, you take 3 points however the hell you get it. And we've won two in a row and they haven't been pretty. So what?
yeah, Onana palming the ball into that area wasn't great, and then no one is tracking Madison. It was a really
Yeah.
cheap goal to give up. Um, I commend Onana for blocking that shot. Probably wasn't the easiest. He had to stretch for it. I just think, top-notch goalkeeper palms it further away, not back into a dangerous area. But yeah, United created some good chances. So did Tottenham throughout the game, and nobody could finish beyond a wide open net with Madison. So, Garnacho had a really good chance. There
Yes.
was a guy diving across, and he saw that guy diving across. So I get like him wanting to, raise the shot a little, but to kick it over the bar, probably two goal heights above the bar, is just a bit ridiculous. At least put it on target. In my mind, and this is, I'm not obviously a professional soccer player, but to me, if you see a guy rushing like that, just fake the shot and have a little
Right.
composure, let him go by, and then slot it past the keeper. But this is what's going on at Manchester United. Everybody we sign, every manager we bring in, it's supposed to be some savior. It's supposed to be the next best thing. It's supposed to be this will help so much. That's what I see online, and or some of the overreactions. So I can only imagine what it's like when you miss shots like that, when you don't perform well. These players get, just drilled. I hope they're not paying. I know Garnacho does pay attention a little bit because he's commented on it before.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Seems to be in the right place at the right time often, to be honest, that player, or not
yeah,
you.
yeah. What I'm trying to say though is United is just force it FC right now. It's just everything's forceful. Everything's trying to right the ship and correct things, and they're just overdoing it, overthinking it, and it's leading to just really poor performances. It's getting pretty boring watching us kick the ball around the back. I know that's how Amram likes to play, but when you're not creating chances and not scoring the chances, it just kind of makes you more anxious and bored. And I think
Well,
the players are feeding off of that as well.
and you're abysmal at home. That seems to be the
Yeah,
real thorn
yeah.
in the side. It's like,
It's
what the hell?
it's like the second we get at home and there's actual pressure on this team to perform somewhat, in front of their own fans, they just collapse. And I think several managers have brought this up. The mentality of these players is just low. It's poor.
Don't you need a leader?
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I
And
think
what's
Spurs do.
what sucks about losing Martinez, he wasn't having necessarily the best season at center back, but he was doing a lot better over the last 2 months, and he at least is a leader. He does have
Yep.
that mental state to push the team on, and so it sucks that we probably lost him for probably not till like October or something because it's an
Good grief.
ACL injury. So who knows when he'll be back.
Wow.
So anyway, it just sucks to have that go down on top of a team that, yeah, like you said, they don't have a lot of leaders. They don't have a lot of characters to rely on, and we're relying way too much on these young kids. So it's just not
We
a
keep
great
changing
situation.
managers, changing systems. I can relate to that. I mean, we did the whole Conte, Mourinho, Nuno Espirito Santo. Now we're at Ange. It's like these players are getting pulled so many directions when you
Exactly.
probably should just keep it simple. Bring in somebody that I'm not saying you have to play a 4-4-2, but play something that won't expose the players that can't really carry out your system.
But
Instead,
even
you're
under
like you're
Ten
going out, you're
Hag,
going for a savior every time.
they were exposing themselves even under Ten Hag under a system
Yeah,
that was more familiar. The only
yeah,
system that these guys seem to be able to play is what Solskjaer mostly played, which is counterattacking, sit back. Then
yeah.
when Solskjaer in his second season tried to play more on the front foot and possession, it fell apart. So these players just can play that just kind of sit back on the back foot. The second they need to actually possess and control the game, they fall apart. They just don't have it. So like I get it. Like Amram is trying, and this new backroom staff, they're trying to change the entire Man United way. There's reports that the scouting system was from the late 90s to early 2000s that hadn't been updated. Like not the players in the system, but like who they were using, or sorry, who like the system, the data usage was just super old. I mean, that's over 20 years old. That should have been updated a long time ago. I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a report recently that so you know how like Arsenal and Liverpool and those ownership groups will have their different teams interact during the summers. So like Arsenal's gone and done stuff with the Rams. Like United have never done anything with the Buccaneers because the Glazers own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I
And the
saw
reason
this. Yeah, yeah.
The reason is because they've updated the facilities and the stadium over there, and they've never done anything like that for United. So they didn't want the players getting jealous or frustrated if they went over there and saw what they had
Yeah.
done with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's the state we're in. Like they're not updating things, they're taking money out, they're just ruining this club, and they've been doing it for almost 20 years now. And I hope, Sir Jim and them can turn it around, but it's going to take
Yeah.
growing pains. It's going to take growing pains. So this is part of it. It sucks. I mean, I don't even. I mean, I get excited to watch my team, but it's not exciting watching us right now. It just sucks.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. This season, are you enjoying watching the other matches or your own clubs more right now? Because
The
for me, I enjoy looking to a full Saturday. If Chelsea's not playing, I can just watch everybody else's match
yeah.
because it's so stressful and they let me down so much. Granted, we're in six. I may be being a little dramatic here, but I'm less stressed and I find myself enjoying the day more when my team's not playing. That's a
I
bad
almost
thing.
quit on Spurs. Seriously. I mean, I never would have done that, but there was a spell of 3 or 4 matches where I'm like, I don't even care. To your point.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, we brought back about 3 or 4 players off of injury, and it's enough to give us fresh enough legs and to maybe scrape out some wins. So as long as I see some heart behind it and some brains and some fight,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can deal with it. But when it is just next to nothing and not being opportune and just having no personality other than passing the ball around with a terrible XG. Uh, so again, I'm back on the hope wagon a little bit just because some of the players that didn't even play last week, they were on the bench. We're starting to get a little bit of depth back, and guys that were injured are coming back. So that is good enough for me right now. But yeah, there was a spell of 2 or 3 weeks where F this. I don't care.
I'm actually
Even though I
enjoying.
do, when the match is going on, I was griping.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
before the match, I'm like, you know what, Spurs, I don't even care. But they sucked me back in.
United are only playing one game a week this month, and I'm actually enjoying that. So I don't have to just.
Yeah.
Although
Let's pray for the best.
we're doing okay in the cup games, so the FA Cup and the Europa are probably the most entertaining. So I say I'm enjoying not watching them as much. Those are the games that we actually seem to be playing better in. But yeah, Tottenham actually got healthy whenever United got hit with sickness and injuries, and so we
Yeah.
were pretty well short.
Pretty young bench
Um,
there, though.
yeah, very young, very young. The average age I think was 19, but that included Lindelof at like 30 or 31.
He kind of
So
messed with the actual median
yeah,
age.
yeah, and it was weird that Amram didn't try them because we're down and we needed some attacking. So why not bring on these guys with, 12, 10 minutes to
Right.
go? I know he's trying to protect young players. You don't want to bring them into such an awful situation, but at the same time, like it's just 10 minutes. What's that going to hurt or 12 minutes?
Right.
So that was kind of weird. He only did a sub with 3 minutes left. Um, so yeah, I've seen a lot more people getting on his back lately. A lot of people questioning maybe he's not the right guy for the job. So I,
Well, too early
I
for
I
that,
think
but
it's way
I
too early for
understand
that.
the unrest. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think it's way too early. But so back to that match. I know we're on this match for a while now, but I saw at points Tottenham were just running all over the place, and I think that's what something United have really lacked this season. Just effort and
yeah.
just some. I think this squad is lacking some athletes who can either are big enough to hold up the ball or just are able to run everywhere. There's just too many players that
Tottenham never stops running.
that
They
that's good. I mean, I get frustrated watching United because I feel like they should be outrunning teams and they're not half the games, if not more.
Where we fail is if our pace is slow with it. Anytime our pace is faster, it's better to watch. But we half the time we're waiting for the defense to get set up. We go on a break. It's like, wait, I need my team up here, and the guy on the wing just stops. I'm like,
United
look,
does the same
be
thing.
a predator. Have some venom. Just
Yeah,
get in there and do it.
yeah,
That also depends on what personnel you have healthy and playing with, though, too. Also, so
Yeah.
Amarin, you can't judge him off however many months he's been there because I think even Gary Neville, who's the biggest homer for United, he's like, this dude needs 3 or 4 windows before he can even say this is his
Correct.
team. So how can we judge a guy off,
yeah.
6 months of work when he when
You
he gets a January window. Like
you say
it's
that
crazy.
Gary actually came out, I think, over after the Tottenham game and was questioning whether Amram was the right guy. So Gary might even be turning, which isn't saying a whole lot. But I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it's
You don't give these guys
ridiculous.
time to get their players. Like, what the hell do you expect them to do? Just work magic overnight with a bunch of dudes they don't know how to play?
Well,
That goes
yeah,
for any club anywhere in the world.
I mean, and at the same time, like I was saying, Ten Hag, these guys were failing under Ten Hag too. So it's not like this stuff is new. Like these
This
guys,
is the
and
revelation.
well,
Go
and
ahead.
United over the last couple of seasons played under Ten Hag, at least in the Prem, they played over where they should have been. If you looked at their XG, if you looked at a bunch of the stats, we
Mm.
should have ended up in eighth or ninth the last two seasons. And we ended up much higher, which was great. I think the first season we should have ended up like fourth or fifth or something, and we
Yeah.
ended up third. So that wasn't
Yeah.
too far off. But last season, we ended up, I think we were playing about 10th or 11th, and we ended up in eighth or something. So I think it's finally coming to fruition of the type of performances we've been putting in, which is a
Yeah.
lower table type of team.
Well, I've finally had to admit, and I think this applies to your squad too, is it's rotten from the top down. And I used to blame Conte and Mourinho for their tactics. They didn't suck before they came to Tottenham. They were winning pretty much everywhere. Now, Mourinho was a hit or miss with United, right? I get it. But Spurs could bring in whoever they want, but if you're not going to have enough depth and guys that can play systems that are not kind of traditional systems, you're screwed. But it starts at the top. I mean, it's a losing mentality. It has been we haven't won a trophy since '08. I mean, it's time to start pointing the finger where we've always pointed it at Levy, but we've also blamed the managers and the players. And now I'm saying I'm just going after the ownership
It looks
because
like a lot more Tottenham
it's
fans are turning on Levy now.
yeah, it's a trend that is has so much evidence. And so I may not always like what Ange is doing. I like his system, but when we're down players, it might be time to sit back a little bit. It may be time to not run as much. And he lived and died by the same sword, and he just was not going to compromise his vision of how the team could play. And I think it exposed us and a lot of guys that really weren't up for that yet.
Yeah.
And then the ones that were are so tired that have run over 1,000 minutes in the last however many months, they barely have legs. And so again, we're coming off the injury list. We've had a huge injury list. Hopefully that's enough for us to save a little face for the remaining third of the year. But
Yeah. Trent, I think Chelsea, I think people have kind of figured out the system. And so they know kind of how to play against it. And they're really focused on Palmer. And once kind of shut that down, I just think the team is so young from what I've watched. When I've watched Chelsea, they haven't been able to figure it out without Palmer kind of pulling the strings. And I think teams are really focused in on Palmer and what Maresca is trying to do.
Oh yeah, he's we're very inexperienced and very young still, which has kind of been masked by how great he's been. And don't get me wrong, we lucked out by signing him and him saving our ass for the past year and a half. But now it's pretty evident that the dudes around him aren't up to snuff. Um, we're not only on the field, but it's still chaotic in the front office. And like we sent João Felix out in January. We sent Disasi out. He played for Villa today against Liverpool. Just random guys we're shipping out, and we just bought them. So not only is the on-field performance not where it needs to be, there's no direction other than we're going to buy young players and spend 8 years on a contract with them. But the sporting director and who's ever making these decisions, and it's not Bowley is what we're finding out. It's more the European-based guys. It's Iqbali's his name. He's been pictured with Bowley at the Lakers games, Dodgers games, stuff like that. So the fans are really wanting him to take a step back on like player decisions because we're bringing in guys like Felix, spending X amount of dollars on him, and then they're playing in Milan freaking 4 months later. So other than the fact that we're buying 18-year-olds, we don't know the direction that the club wants to go, and that's new territory for Chelsea with this new post Abramovich era. They would just go get anybody they wanted at any time to do whatever they wanted just to win trophies. even
But they
if it
weren't playing
matters.
nice with Pochettino either, right? That's why pretty much why he
Oh
left.
yeah, yeah, and then yeah, there was clearly a disconnect from their vision going forward and what a manager can do with what he's given. So, like I said, we've lucked out with Palmer. If we didn't have Cole Palmer, we would be a very, very, very bad Premier League team. Honestly, I honestly think that.
You'd be with
Um,
us down at the bottom.
yeah, we'd be right.
Yeah.
We'd be right down. No leaders. I'm not kidding. We have no leaders on that team. The oldest player is like the center back Tosin we signed from Fulham this offseason. He's like 26 or 27,
Wasn't he the
but he
free? Wasn't he on a free?
yeah, he has no experience in the club, so it's not like he's a guy that comes in and like demands, respect in a locker room. So it's just kind of like we're flying by the seat of our pants with these kids, and we've lucked out with Palmer, and he's carried us so far, but he can only take us so far, and the frickin' Premier League now is just so stacked from top to bottom that you just can't get by with one or two guys
I guess that's
taking
what
you
the point to
every
be
year.
made is the Brentfords and the Brightons and the not Southamptons, Forests, all those teams, Bournemouth, they've arrived at a whole new level. And so if you've slipped any, yeah, they're going to show up and take your place in line. And they have, and they've been pretty consistent with it. Bournemouth, that might be one of the more scary teams out there. That is, I like some of
You've
their
got guys
players.
like Justin Cliver and
Yeah,
Tyler
amazing.
Adams that are just like playing at a top four level in the Premier League when 2 years ago you wouldn't even have thought of them contributing whatsoever at this stage in their career.
Semenyo, they may not be able to hold on to those players. They might get cherry picked.
For me, the best run clubs are rising to the top. So the clubs like
True,
United,
very true.
Tottenham, because they haven't been run very well. They're not making really smart choices on how to spend their money. It's dropping them down, and they got to bite the bullet and figure out how to get back up there. But yeah, for me, I mean, Brighton, Fulham, Bournemouth, these clubs have been run well and
Yeah.
have been able to sustain staying in the Prem. And then once they were able to kind of level out or stabilize themselves, they've been able to push on. I mean, look at what Chris Wood's doing. I mean, they're evaluating these players that we would all write off, and they're like, no, no, we can implement them in this system and they'll be great.
And I'll tell you the
Yep.
biggest point to make about that, they're hungry. All
Oh
our
yeah.
teams are just dead. And you talk about teams like Forest, you watch their team spirit, it's amazing. They are on fire. They
Yeah.
want to win. They want to kick your ass. And we're running around like fucking madmen, dying out there. And then Son's balling after the game. It's like, are you our captain, really? You're crying still? Come on, man.
And as a neutral,
I think
I
you're in your
want to
30s.
watch. As a neutral, I want to watch Fulham and Bournemouth in these in
Yes,
Forest. Like I tune
Yeah.
in because it's entertaining.
correct.
Yep. I think we touched on it a couple weeks ago in our group text. Not only like Chris Wood at Forest, but like Anthony Alonga subs on and tears it up. Callum Hudson-Odoi, like certain guys that have been in the Premier League, just kind of at larger clubs, but never got their time to shine there. It's like,
Yep.
oh, there'll be a $10 million transfer to a lower Bournemouth, at the time, and now these dudes are starting and they're in a Champions League spot.
Just needed to
It's
find a place
crazy.
to land. Kind of like Lingard at Villa. Did he play today at Villa? Or Rashford, I'm sorry.
Rashford started, yeah.
Did he
He had a
start?
goal called back too, or it was an OG called back, but yeah, he started.
Okay.
He hasn't looked great for them. He looks to me when I've watched him, he looks just like he did at United. But I mean,
Yeah,
I hope he does
lot of
well.
running.
I want him to do well at Villa. I have nothing against Rashford. So, what'd you say, Trent?
Said yeah, typical Rashford, a lot of running around, but not much end product, I guess. So
Yeah, unless it's
I,
a through
I, would-
ball
I would
through.
agree.
And yeah.
Yeah,
I hear some Chelsea fans are turning on Sancho. He hasn't turned in the best
Yes.
performances.
Saw an article on that
I don't.
today.
Oh, who cares what they turn on anybody? I don't give a shit. Nobody's playing with him on the squad, so it's like, all right, just pick anybody off the 11 and yell at them because they're not playing well right now.
It
Right,
was
just
a former
try.
player
But
that was talking shit about him, saying that we thought we were going to get the Dortmund Sancho. I forget the player, but
we talked about it on here. His first 2 or 3 weeks, he had like two or three assists and a goal or
yep.
two.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
all right, here we go. And he's kind of like João Felix. Like every time he goes somewhere new, he shows those flashes, and you're like, holy shit, they got a steal here. And then he just stopped kind of taking guys on and being more aggressive. Granted, we've not working within Cuckoo and Palmer like playing too close to each other. Palmer plays way better when him and Jackson are spread out a little more, and Palmer can advance the ball. And
Space
right
is
now
lost.
they're all just jumbled up, and so
Spurs do that.
Sanchez take a couple dribbles and cut inside, just back pass, and Madueke does it on the other side, or Neto does it on the other side. So it's
Jackson
just
links that
stagnant.
play too really well, I feel like, for your front.
He just he's a menace in creativeness, I guess. He just
Right.
up. He might not score the goal, but he's going to be making the runs and bugging your center backs and your keeper
Well,
to
before he got
just
injured,
create
he was
chaos.
starting to make some goals, right?
Yeah, he
He
turned the
was
corner.
being more
He
consistent.
started
Was
hot.
missing he was missing big barns. Like he couldn't hit the
Yeah,
side of a barn when he first
I
started.
think
Now, yeah, he came around.
he's probably at nine goals maybe on the year, but he's hurt now until April. So who
Oh
knows?
boy.
But yeah, we're missing his work rate. That's for sure.
Meanwhile, at United, we're shipping off forwards and then losing them to injuries, and now we're pulling up like 18, 17-year-olds to try and help us out. And then people want to get on Hoyland, and I'm like, dude, the guy has no service. He gets barely any chances. But sure, blame Hoyland. I mean, I literally saw an article of like how much of Hoyland's struggles is to blame within the United season as a whole. I'm like, that's a question? We're gonna blame Hoyland, our one striker? Okay, sure. I mean, it just baffles me. There's a
Well,
lot
dude,
more
this
going on
season
wrong.
there hasn't been much drama in the Premier League this season because other than like City being bad, I guess, because
And
none of us have
cheaters.
taken like, a
Yeah.
step. Liverpool's just been good from day one and it's kind of stayed that way. So I think everybody's just kind of like finding news stories to stir up because there's not really much happening if you think about it, besides like these lower teams and their resurgence up the table. But nobody's going to cover that. That doesn't get your clicks. So
Right.
these guys are just cherry picking the lowest hanging fruit on these teams that are
Right.
performing bad.
Arsenal's not pushing Liverpool enough to make that exciting right now, and hopefully that stays the same. But yeah,
Speaking,
so
yeah, that
there's all these
happened.
sidebar stories that wouldn't appear to be as sexy, but that's what we've got, right? They got to find something to write about. But but we get written about all the time because we're always the joke butt of all the jokes.
Really
So
easy. Yeah, yeah.
we're like the
Easy
Dallas
target.
Cowboys. We're going to get bad press and we're going to get made fun of. We're going to get
Part
ridiculed.
of it, man. Part
Yeah, of
of it.
course. I've accepted that. But yeah, speaking of City, they're out of the Champions League. Not that that was that surprising, but boy, Mbappe started right in on them and got two quick goals, and they don't have it, man. They even signed that Marmouche. They signed the Diaz guy, and you think, well, maybe they'll. But it's Real. It's the Bernabeu, right? So
Yeah.
And I mean, come
Those
on,
are
it's Real
two
Madrid in
different
the
teams.
Champions League.
correct.
They
Yeah.
own that. Good
Those are
luck.
two different teams there today. And Holland didn't even start. I don't even know if he subbed on. Um,
Probably not.
No, I think he
I
was
know he did.
hurt or something.
I turned over to the Villa Liverpool match, so I wasn't even watching
Mm,
the second half of Real Madrid
Trying to
City.
catch that and Juve and PSV, which PSV ended up advancing.
phenomenal, phenomenal
Tim
match.
Weah had a Tim Weah had a freaking banger of a goal though, man. It was
Yeah.
That's all he
beautiful.
scores. All he scores is bangers, dude. His goals are ridiculous.
McKennie
What
scored
planet have
last
I
week.
been on? Been on? He's a right back.
Dude,
What?
Juve does our boys dirty, and they just keep putting in the work and producing for him. So I don't want to hear any more slander on these dudes ever
No,
again.
I'm happy that he's playing, and I don't care where he's playing. I didn't know he was a right back.
Right. I
Well,
know, because then he comes and plays up top for us or right wing or something.
I don't think he's been playing right back for Juve though. I've seen him up top for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
So I think they're
He's been
just
playing
moving him
right back.
around.
McKinney's been playing left back or center mid or the eight, or the 10. They've been moving our dudes all over and
Yeah. Ledesma was
produce.
the other guy in there today. And like you said, Trent, the other three Americans were actually hurt for Eindhoven. So but
Happy
I
with
guess we
now.
couldn't really lose. There's some Americans going through to the next round, no matter who it is. So,
Not Pulisic and AC
AC
Milan.
nope, nope. Milan got,
Those highlights yesterday, man, that was terrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as he
Terrible.
has had a great season and stays healthy, good.
True.
I
True.
guess
Him and Musa.
Gio's about had his they've about had it with him at Dortmund. I saw some article today. I don't know what he's doing. I'm sure he's he's crying more than Son is.
He subbed on today, and it was pretty funny. He literally subbed on. The ball was in their opposing in half, and he his first touch he hit the post.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he's on his way out for sure, for sure.
And then you got Bayern barely getting by Celtic. They got a last minute goal. Was it Davies that got it? And yesterday, but
Yeah,
that
Byron
was
Byron
tied.
Munich
That
got
was
locked
tied on
down by
aggregate,
two.
about to go into extra time.
Yeah, they got locked down by two American center backs yesterday, and
Carter Vickers.
Cameron Vickers and Austin Trusty there. Take that, Harry Kane.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure Glasgow was about to go wild, and then the knives got pulled out, and they went and find Rangers fans or something because that sucks for them. I mean
Celtic
we
had
killed
more of
two
the chances.
Bayern.
They had more of the chances in the first half. They had about two or three good opportunities inside the box, and they just couldn't capitalize on it. And if you don't do that away at Bayern, like good luck.
I
Yeah,
keep forgetting Company's the manager of Bayern. Like that is
yeah,
just such a wild hire. I don't
it
I don't know
was.
how he's gonna stay. Even if they win the league, I don't see how they keep him.
Yeah, they got the young guy, and I don't know what their thinking was behind it. It was a surprise to everyone, but
Maybe
yeah,
just to hold over for Alonso. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. They're spoiled. I mean, they don't have the competition per se. I mean, last year Leverkusen was kind of, I don't know about a flash in the pan, but it was their Leicester. They were the Leicester last year, and yeah, I don't know. I
Do you
mean,
think
it's pretty exciting.
you think Alonso will go to Real Madrid after Ancelotti's exit this summer?
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
Would be smart. Would make sense. Big move. It's the biggest move.
I
That
you,
so the
you
next
yeah.
round of the Champions League. When is the draw for this? You know,
Probably like this Friday because
I
Europa's
would think it's
tomorrow.
coming up.
Yeah, I would bet it was Friday or Saturday, right?
So yeah, we're gonna get back into the Villas and the Liverpools and the uh, Real and all the team. It's going to be a nice next round, I believe. It's
But
really.
Italy's gone, right? Do they have anybody left? Is Inter left and that's
I
it?
don't think so.
Because Juve's
Inter,
out, Atalanta got knocked out, AC Milan got knocked out. So it's just Inter, right?
Brest got knocked
I,
out.
Napoli? Is
I got
Napoli
the
still
table
in it?
right here. Yeah, we got it's seeded now. Did you know this?
Oh, I did not know that.
So we got well, that's 1, 2, 7, 8. So Inter's the four, and yeah, they're the only.
Is
Tell
Napoli
you,
still in? Or no?
I do not see Napoli. No, sir.
Napoli, are they Europa?
Maybe
I don't
there's
think
a
they're
weird.
in the Champions League. Sam, what are you doing? Hey,
Yeah, then there's like a seeded draw, so it's like I
interesting. The
think
whole
like
thing's been turned upside down.
right. So who knows when that? I'm trying to look up the future schedule, but it won't show me. Whatever.
So
But we
I'm
got.
guessing Europa League is more of the same. Tomorrow will be uh,
Mhm.
the same kind of format, and then we'll get Spurs a draw, probably the best team that made it through, and who
I don't think
cares?
Napoli's even in Europe. Dang, Napoli.
No, I think they brought Conte in to kind of shore it up, and they're leading the league, right? I mean,
Um, didn't seem like it. They've had a bunch of draws lately.
I think they're still top of the table.
Yeah, they're top. Inter second.
Oh yeah, just by 2 points. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it'll be.
Milan is out.
I'm looking forward to that draw. I want to get down to it. I mean, there was obviously a lot of teams that that were lower than what we're used to seeing based on the format that will go bye-bye, hopefully. Or maybe there'll be a couple sleepers, who knows? But like Club Brugge's, aren't they still in it? I'm like,
Yeah. They dunked
Really?
out
Yeah.
Atalanta yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. Yeah.
Um, do we want to finish up last weekend's Premier League stuff? Because we didn't even get
Yeah, who
to.
we got? I can't even remember.
Well, Arsenal won with a false nine substitution against Leicester, putting in Marino out of
Left it
nowhere,
late.
and he scored both chances they created. Yeah, it was kind of fun to watch just how that game ended like that.
Yeah, I was both like 82nd and 89th minute goals, I think, because it was Leicester was hanging on for dear life for most of the match. I didn't watch it, but it seems Arsenal hasn't really changed that much over previous year. I don't watch all of these matches, but they're kind of it seems like the same story.
Oh yeah, yeah. Arsenal just for some reason will not go get a striker, and they could definitely use
Yeah,
one.
I read something about that. I don't somehow what's his name Lego Head thinks it will disrupt the way they like to play or something. It's like wow, we really is it really come to that where you don't want a true striker? That's crazy.
Like just
They lost
imagine,
Kai Havertz for the rest of the season.
yeah, but just imagine Ivan Toney in this team. Like he's a
Yep,
proven Premier League goal scorer. Like he'd be fine.
What the hell is that guy at? What is he doing right now?
Saudi, I think.
Yes, isn't he?
He's
Yeah.
choking on desert dust right now in Saudi. That fucker.
Well, apparently Arsenal, he was in their youth program, I think, and they screwed him. So I don't think he wants to ever go back there.
They
But
had sex with him.
yeah, I think
That's
so.
brutal. No
No wonder
wonder.
he's back. Yeah,
No wonder. I wouldn't want to either, not gonna lie. Bad
jerks over
memories.
there.
Um, all right, and then
Yes.
I
What
mean
were the other results? Sorry.
the game that I
Yeah.
really enjoyed watching was Fulham versus Forest. That was a fun game, and Fulham ended up
Full
pulling it
Force was
out.
awesome.
Yeah, but it was just a fun match of two teams who are battling for European places and
2-1.
want to go for it. They're not afraid to go for it. So
No one likes to play
Anthony
Fulham.
Robinson. Robinson just still tearing it up for Fulham, dude. He's a menace on the left hand side. He might make one of those like team of the year bullshit like end of the season teams. It's the left back for Fulham this season. So
I
Those
mean,
calves are pretty sexy.
the only other left back I can think of is that Bournemouth Kirkesh guy that's been pretty good on the left hand side. I mean, Robertson hasn't been playing as well for Liverpool, so I don't know who else you'd pick over there because I think Robinson's been the best and most consistent for the season.
I'd be all right with that. He's got a motor, that kid.
agreed.
Villa and
Everton
Ipswich tied. Yeah, Everton and Palace.
How'd
Everton.
that one end up? Is that a draw?
2-1. Everton. David Moyes, man, got him playing all right.
That's where he likes to be. That's his landing spot. That's where he should have probably always been. But
I never get too excited with this stuff because every time a team gets, a new manager who kind of releases
sure.
them from their shackles, if you will, they always seem to play better. They play with more freedom. The opponents are surprised. They weren't expecting, this team to come out
Right.
like this. So you get these performances. It'll be interesting come the end of the season or maybe next season how well they do under Moyes. I'm not
Well,
saying
that's the
I'm
thing.
not I'm not trying to damper anything about
I get
Everton. I
it.
love seeing their resurgence, but I'm just saying this is pretty typical.
I agree. I think the one difference in the dynamic is that he's the one that kind of built them and got them where they were, and he's
Right.
back. So there's this history that goes along with it too. Like, oh, I'm back home, but I get it.
They've
Yeah,
got new ownership and a new stadium,
yeah. It's not enough of a sample size yet to crown him. So, I think
but
everyone's just glad they're out of the relegation zone. So,
he's
Yeah.
got things going for him though. Like, he's got new backing. He's got a brand new stadium, so that's going to be a lot more money coming back into the club. And if you give him some time to hopefully figure out a roster, and Everton might be back in Europe here in the next 2 or 3 seasons. Hopefully, you would think, right? They
Yeah.
they they used to be a regular in Europa League. Hell,
Right. I'm not excited to play them this weekend because of how their just fortunes have turned of late under Moyes and
right.
we are very up and down. So I'm not real excited about that. Um, Brentford beat West Ham 1-0.
Okay.
Bournemouth beat Southampton 3-1 and Man City absolutely destroyed Newcastle 4-0 on a
Yeah, that
surprising
Marmoush guy went crazy.
Newcastle can like I don't know. If I was a Newcastle fan, they would drive me nuts because I'll watch certain games and they are up for it. They are battling for everything. They're doing great. And then there's games like this because I tuned in to see what they were going to do against City, and it was nothing special. It was just like another game. And then when City scored, they were just like, oh, all right. So I'd be really frustrated if I was a Newcastle fan.
seems to me that that's kind of one of those games. You're like, all right, Newcastle, you're supposedly the new top dog with all the big dough, and you're going to be the hot shit in Champions League now. Like, go win at City, man. Go pull out a 2-1 or something.
Nah.
Nope.
Well, apparently they didn't know how to deal with Marmoush and Holland both being in there. I think Marmoush kind of trailed him, and I think it kind of confused them because he had a hat trick. That was his debut, I think. Which again, maybe a small sample size, maybe he was just fired up and you know glad to be on
On
City.
amphetamine.
Yeah, but they did what they did. It was I was surprised by that.
And
That's
then
why I don't take Newcastle seriously, though, because they,
yeah,
like Alan, when it comes down to it, they just never get over the hump. And I don't know what it is. They may not have the guy on the 11, but who knows?
when
I'm
we
just not
won
that worried.
when United won the League Cup over them 2 years ago with Ten Hag, they were all super excited. They were like, the new ownership, they were turning things around. They had bought new
Yep,
players, and they were excited to be in a final. And I
it
mean,
was flat.
they barely tempted or did anything against our goal.
Yeah, I
I
was
mean, we
surprised by
just
that game.
we just handled them. I mean, it wasn't like an amazing performance on either end, but it wasn't like United had to get out of like second or third gear to just win that
No.
title.
You
Or
all
to,
were very confident in that game, and I think they were a little wide-eyed by the whole
right,
spectacle. I don't think they had
right.
been there in a while.
Right. So anyway, I'm the same way, Trent. I don't really get behind Newcastle being a threat to consistently be in the top four or even be in the top six, probably, because this is how they turn up randomly. They're good, then they're bad, then they're good, and it's okay, whatever.
I think Eddie Howe's a good manager, but maybe that's the ceiling for where he's at with that
Yeah,
club.
Yep.
yeah.
Now they are in the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool, so we'll see how that goes. But obviously, any silverware it would be a new thing for them as well. So I don't know if that really bolsters his stock, but it's something. Like I said, they're up and down. So
I take back everything I just said. Newcastle, you're amazing. Please
yeah,
go kick their butt and
Go tear it
just
up.
dominate Liverpool
right there
in the
you
final.
go. Found that silver lining.
Speaking of Liverpool, they beat Wolves on Sunday 2-1. And I mean, that was a tale of two halves. Liverpool
Yep.
kind of took it to Wolves in the first half, and then the second half, Wolves, I mean, they had chances to tie that
Yep.
game.
Yep, they sure did.
They
Their
just couldn't
It's
manager's
finish.
just
pretty fiery,
players.
and you never know what you're going to get with Wolves, but I've been on the wrong end of them many times. It doesn't matter who the manager is. They're not a big market team. They don't have the greatest players. They switch managers often, but they do some weird shit.
Cunha is a player that I want
Oh,
United to go for.
wow.
That's the
Somebody's
type
going
of
to pick
player
him
that
up
is
big.
proven in the Prem and can do the type of things as a forward that I think Amarim's system calls for. So I'd be all for going after him as a United fan
It's a
and
bidding
for
war,
our
I'm
new
sure.
system. I'm sure there'll be several teams going for him in the summer. So, um, and then we had our Aston Villa versus Liverpool this afternoon, which we've kind of already talked about. Um, which was a good game though.
Dude. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Man, I wanted Tielemans when Leicester went down. I was like, they just got relegated. Go get Tielemans. And Villa were smart. They went and got him. I would have taken Tielemans. He's not a world beater per se, but he has really good games. He has some games where he goes missing, but he's a midfielder that I think would be solid, and
Yeah.
I think over the last few years would have been useful at United.
The scoop on him is that he's a quitter. He quit on Leicester when they were going down. He just all but just threw his hands up and said, "Screw this," and that made a lot of people mad. I mean, doesn't matter if you pick him up and he's a good integral part of your team. Who cares about his history? But I think to your point, he is up and down.
It was probably because Jamie didn't invite him to one of his parties, so he
Yeah,
was like,
probably.
"Forget
You
it.
know how
I'm
it
out.
is.
Forget it." Um,
Already?
It is fun to see Watkins scoring goals again and
Yep.
doing his thing. He's always been a good player in my mind. Not as fun is watching Salah continue to just somehow pop up and score goals no matter what,
Not going to
Inevitable.
stop until they get rid of him.
which
I agree.
apparently they're doing this summer,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is crazy. This might be
He's
his
just
best year yet.
yeah. They just have so many solid players to work the ball up the pitch. He's always going to have his space out there on the right and try and stop it. Or he's going to get a bullshit penalty. I mean, the call against Wolves I thought was crap. There's been a couple the last couple of weeks that I thought were awful where the keeper parried it away or at least got to the ball first and they still called the penalty. And it's like Spurs, they had, I don't remember who it was we played, and Vicario got there first, or our check keeper, and pushed it perpendicular to the play. So it wasn't like he parried it and the attacker could have ran onto it still if he hadn't gotten tripped.
Right.
It's
Yep.
out of control. I this game has gotten so soft as it relates to the calls that are being made. So nothing we can do
Well,
about it.
and like we've talked about, the handball rule continues to just confuse me. Last season they said when United and Tottenham played each other early on in the season, when we shot a shot and it hit a Tottenham player's hand like this or something next to his
Right.
body, but he was still
Romero.
extended and, made himself a little bigger. They said he was too close to the ball to be given as a PK. But then
Yep.
this year, United have had one or two given against them for the exact same ruling.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen other games where, it's not United, it's other Prem teams, and they either rule it as a PK or not a PK. They just continue to just, I think, make it too complicated when they don't need to. It should be a little bit simpler. And like we've always talked about, it'd just be nice if they were just more consistent. We just want some consistency. That's what
Right.
VAR should be there to provide, and it's not happening.
Guess it depends what Mafia Chieftain has a bet riding on a certain
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
That's the call. Yeah.
Uh, well, so Liverpool have had a couple of draws in their last few games. So are we seeing some chinks in their armor? They're leaving a
Uh,
little bit of a window for Arsenal?
I mean, what is it, like 7 points right now? Well,
Should be five
Arsenal still
now.
got a game in hand, I guess. So I
Game.
don't know if I go that far, but Arsenal, it's really dependent on Arsenal because if Liverpool is going to keep dropping points, meaning like getting one instead of three, Arsenal's the one that's got to make up that ground.
Yeah.
Because kind of Liverpool are kind of protecting the fort. They're doing enough. Arsenal's got to just basically be near perfect. I think really is what it boils down to.
And Arsenal plays
Arsenal,
West Ham this weekend, so they have a chance.
Okay.
London Derby
They've
action.
they've been clobbering West Ham the last few times I remember. It's like 6-0 or something.
Uh,
So it could be ugly.
This table looks wild because you have Tottenham at 12th with a plus 12 goal differential.
Oh yeah, we've got a ton of goals, but we've given up just as many as anyone in the league. Even yeah, it's there's no algorithm that would make sense for why we're where we're at.
Yeah.
Speaking of
You know,
Tottenham,
with the amount of
you,
goals that we have.
you got that beautiful away trip to Ipswich this weekend, baby.
Oh God, I don't
Ooh.
even want to think about it.
They dusted our ass 2-0 earlier, so good luck
They
with
beat us at home, so I mean
Oh, really?
they're going for the sweep.
Shit.
Yeah, like I said, there's kind of a new spirit with the club, having some guys come back, a little momentum, winning 2 matches in a row. So that there's something to be said about that. I just don't know. Again, I got to see a more consistent, a bigger sample size of what we're talking about
Whoa,
than you
whoa,
do.
whoa, 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 whoa. Why did we skip over the 6:30 match, Alan?
Uh, I probably won't even be awake for that one, so I don't know.
Who is the
My
6:30
bad.
match?
Everton hosts Manchester United.
Oh boy.
This plucky 15th place team is gonna play this plucky 14th place team.
That's why he
I
was
mean,
dogging on Moyes.
you got to bring a lot of heart to your point. Like you said, it's not that Everton are amazing, but they're on a high. And so
You
you're
know what's
not.
what's weird though? I know Everton haven't been very good over the last couple of seasons, but like United have handled Everton even when they were decent. I don't know why. They just seem to not fear Everton ever.
Mhm.
But this
That
is at
Fellaini trade-off.
what's up?
Was that Fellaini trade-off? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then we took Lukaku as well after that.
Mm.
And Schneiderlin. None of those really worked out very well. I mean, I actually liked Lukaku.
Yeah, you should have kept Lukaku, man. That's
We
a
should,
big star.
yeah, yeah. Look at us right now and look at Lukaku right now. Yeah, exactly. We should have kept him. Yeah, I didn't mind him, but yeah, it's the last match that United will ever play at Goodison, so that'll be kind of interesting.
Get on the pitch, shit all over the pitch. Who cares?
Oh, Tarkowski's the big hero. He got the last goal of Goodison in a derby, Liverpool derby.
That was a heck of a game. That was fun to
Yeah.
watch. That was good. I didn't know if Everton had it in them to do that, and they pulled it out.
And you said Chelsea has who this weekend?
Well, we're away to Aston Villa, and hopefully they blew their
Oh,
wad today.
Villa
you're
can be had. They're a good team, but
you're away at Villa.
Yeah, for some reason we've done pretty well against them, and I got a score prediction for that one. We're gonna win 3-2 on
Mm,
Saturday.
to
3 to
entertaining.
2. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be prime time, dude. It's gonna be proper Chelsea shit show, but we're gonna nuke out a 3-2 somehow. And yep. The OKC Blues are watching that at Chicken and Pickle, by the way.
I'll be there.
Chicken and pickle.
It's a all ages watch party because everybody's like grown adults now and we all have kids, so not everybody goes to the pub in the mornings. So we're like, let's find a cool place we can go and invite families. So Chicken and Pickle is always down to like host like US watch parties, stuff like that. So Matt Wormus reached out to him. They're like, yeah, absolutely.
That's
So
cool.
we'll be there on Saturday. If you guys want to come by?
What is are you at 9 o'clock?
11:30.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
11:30. Yeah. Yeah.
I bet that's a 2-2. I'm going 2-2. And
Yeah, I think you'll lose 2-0.
oh
2
snap.
0. Screw Dave with a boring ass 2-0, man.
Duran brace.
I bet Ipswich and Spurs is 1-1. I bet
I
Ipswich is
I I
1-1.
could I could see that. Or 2-1 Ipswich.
2-2.
I don't mind being skeptical of my own team.
United cannot score, so if we win, it's one. But I will say 1-1. I'll say United versus Everton is also a draw. I'm
Well,
just going all draws.
Poor Casemiro, is there anyone that can play behind him instead of, give him time out? Because I think he played basically the full 90.
Yeah.
I think they
Did.
subbed him out at the end, but that guy's getting old.
Ugarte should be back, and
Okay.
Bruno's always available somehow. I don't know how that guy continues to. He plays like every minute for Portugal and for United, and it
Yeah.
baffles my mind. Um,
So what
but
happens when you have 0% body fat. Works out.
yeah, yeah, probably. But yeah, Casemiro, I don't think I ever want to see him start. He's fine to come on to shore us up at the end of a game, but
Yeah.
I don't want to see him start. Like people were giving crap to Bruno in the midfield. I thought Casemiro was worse. I mean, at least
Well, he's
Bruno's.
got an excuse though. He's just aging. I
Oh my
just don't really
word.
have it.
No, but he goes in for tackles that I don't think he needs to try and go for because he's too late all the time.
Yeah.
If I was constantly that late to a tackle, I'd go, maybe I don't do this tackle here and I just back up instead. Maybe
Yeah.
that would be more beneficial to my team. But no, Casemiro's mindset is I'm just going to go in for this tackle regardless, which just as a United fan, when I watch it, it just kind of pisses me off. I get tired of it. I appreciate his first season with us, but beyond that,
Yeah.
I don't want to see him start again. So yeah, hopefully a few of these players are not sick anymore and can actually play. Sunday we got Newcastle and Forest. That should be fun. I think it's is Forest at home? No, it's at Newcastle.
You got the Jekyll and Hyde Newcastle that you were talking about, and a game they could win, but we'll see which one shows up.
Oh man, yeah. If Forrest goes and wins this, I will talk so much shit on Newcastle forever. After
Why
100%.
this one? Because Newcastle are so
Yeah, I
inconsistent.
mean, it's just like, come on, it's Forrest. Like, yeah, they're playing well, but like, if they just walk in and beat your ass at home, like, you're not the real deal, man. Just keep your money and keep sucking. All right. If Forrest wins, Newcastle will not finish in a Europe spot. Watch this.
Oh,
Okay.
snap. So what, that would put Villa or Fulham in there?
Yeah.
Shit,
Villa.
probably.
Oh wait, sixth is conference, right?
Yeah.
Shit, I think
Well,
so.
depending on what happens in cups, yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, you guys won that FA Cup and it bumped us from Europa to Conference League, even though we finished fifth, I think, or sixth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys took that last spot that year. So, yeah, it's probably only 6 spots.
Okay, I have a question for you guys after this last preview. Um, the big one on Sunday at 10:30. Man City versus Liverpool. Does City
Where's
have
that
any
at?
hope?
Where's it at?
It's at City.
It will have to be on team spirit alone. I don't
Is
know.
Arnie on the touchline for this?
What?
Is
Oh
Arnie
no,
Slot
I
no,
would say
suspended?
Liverpool 3-2.
no. He got a red card, right?
Who did?
Suspended, right?
Slot.
Slot.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
The ending of that game was pretty wild, but a lot of
If
fun.
Liverpool, if they take their chances, they should win 3-2, 3-1 because their City's going to sell out going forward. And Liverpool, if you watched them play Spurs that one game when it was like 6-3, if you lose the ball against them, they're going to put you to the sword. So if they take their chances, they should get at least 3 goals. It's crazy to be saying that about City, but
But their
Totally.
defense
I
is not
think
good this year.
City has a puncher's chance. They're just going to they might have to play maybe a little more conservative, and I don't think they do that.
If Holland's healthy, that'll be a hell of a match. If not, I don't see City creating enough to match what Liverpool can do on the counter.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But
They leave themselves exposed. You saw it
yeah,
today. So what's
it's
different?
at home, so City's going to have to be on the front foot somewhat, just so they don't get booed off the damn pitch. But
Hmm.
Liverpool's deadly. You have a short corner hit the first man, and Liverpool's back at you with a goal chance in about 4 seconds. So
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a chippy match and maybe a good match. And I'd say Liverpool 3-2.
Yeah, I think I'll say Liverpool 2-1. As much as I want to see another draw or loss for Liverpool, I think 2-1 Liverpool.
how about Anthony Taylor reffing this one? I just looked up. Does that change your
Oh,
score prediction?
Isn't he usually red card happy?
Probably. I mean,
Although Liverpool might be on
Liverpool
their best
scored the most
behavior.
penalties this season, so there's going to be a penalty rewarded some way. So you got to think there's going to be goals. 3-2, 2-2. I like that. I don't know which way though. If I say 3-2,
yep.
Well,
not a bad weekend though, man. Honestly,
no, it's a
Nope.
good weekend. No, it's a good one. Oh, we
Because,
we skipped Leicester and Brentford on Friday, by the
oh
way.
boy. Well, I hope it's a good one.
Um,
I'll take Brentford there.
yeah, definitely Brentford on that one. Well, are your teams in any cups still?
Europa League.
Oh, that's right. Wouldn't that be funny if we played each other in the Europa final for a fourth time this season?
It would be funny.
But you
As
guys have our
for
number.
all
We
the other
haven't
ones.
we haven't won one game against y'all this year, so that that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Battle of the Network Stars.
Trent, is Chelsea
Conference League.
the
I
conference
couldn't
league?
even tell you when the next match is. They have the round of what 32, like the same playoff deal that Champions League had today. So I don't even think we're still like probably a month out from actually playing a match in that.
That's beautiful too. This is the first time we played on a Saturday in a while and had the midweek off. So
Dude, yeah,
I'm glad that we qualified for the bye in the Europa League because we need every little rest we can get.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of excited the same thing for United, but it's
Hmm.
not really proving to work very well in our favor. Um, unfortunately. Well, should we cover other leagues real fast? What's happening in the Liga? I haven't. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm out of the loop on those.
Oh yeah,
the three
Barcelona
race
and
at
Real
the top right
Madrid are
now.
tied.
Yeah, Atletico's right there too. It'll be a pretty salty ending, I think, in La Liga.
That should be fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Saturday, MLS starts, by the way.
I'm gonna have to pick a team this year. I promise.
Yeah. Figure it
I
out,
don't even
Dave.
know who that would be or why, but I'll do it. I'm gonna,
KC is right next to you, Dave.
yeah, I've made that connection. I'll need a little sample size for the first 7 to 10 matches, and I'll make a choice.
Who's the most
Do either of
Spursy?
y'all?
Is that what you're gonna go off of?
Who's the most Spursy in the MLS? That's how I'm
Ooh,
doing it.
that's a good one, actually.
I like
That's hard to
consistency.
tell. Because a lot of the teams that are Spursy now won in the past, but that was like 15 years ago. So they're
Yeah.
still considered like, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Just pick a
New York
Canadian
Red
team.
Bull.
It's easy.
New York Red Bull always make. Well, you don't want to be a New York fan. Never mind. Screw that.
I know Miami.
Well, starting tonight is Champions Cup.
Yeah,
Well, actually started,
CONCACAF.
but Messi's in Kansas City and the weather's like 9 degrees,
Yep,
and they got the
he ain't
post.
playing.
So yeah, that's what I
He,
keep checking my phone to see a lineup, but I haven't seen it yet.
they already postponed it once, but
Yeah, it was supposed to be last night. And they moved it to tonight, but
uh, that's the way it goes. It's on Fox Sports
yeah,
too.
MLS starting back up, boys. It gives us
All right.
something to watch until I don't know.
Okay. Well, we should continue on with the cabin fever. I had two bowls of Lucky Charms today, one for lunch and one for an afternoon snack, and that may be dinner.
That may be dinner.
There's one bowl
Yeah,
left.
I
There
think my
you
in-laws are ordering us pizza, so I'm gonna
go.
head over
Oh,
there,
yeah.
get some pizza.
Okay.
Should be good.
Well, it's
Something
good to be
different.
back, even though we're miles apart. Hopefully, weather will turn a little bit. Time will be on our side, and we'll be able to kind of get out to the people. And
The Facebook Lives have been fun. We'll have to keep doing
yep,
those
I
when we
like those as
can.
well.
Yeah.
yeah. People tune into those. Actually, I was surprised. So
Yep.
Could you
if
guys
we're
see
out
my
there,
comments during your
Yeah.
live? Oh,
oh
so you
yeah,
just you
oh
just
yeah.
weren't reacting.
We
Okay,
weren't
cool. I was
reacting.
like
But
trying
it's
to
popping
like
up.
post you questions.
That's
But
It
you
was like the little
multitasking.
clear chat box. It was like the clear one, so it's not like you can really. You have to really be looking at it if you're live to see it.
gotcha.
But and then afterwards, I had like 40 notifications, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like, we're popular." No, it was all you.
I was trying to interact while I was watching. I was like, I wonder if I could post them these questions and make comments and they can react. But then there was no
Yeah, no,
reaction, so I was like, maybe they can't see them. I don't know.
we were just being stupid and drinking. I guess. I don't know.
It was a new wrinkle. We weren't used to it. So
I enjoyed having Black Will on too. That was good.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna. We should keep doing it. That way, create something of an environment.
periodically, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get people back up to the pub. By the way, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
missing a lot
we
of the
do.
fan interaction we used to have. Man United still shows up and Tottenham shows up. My group's been slacking pretty hardcore.
Liverpool looks like they've been showing up.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Yeah, they're in first place. Of course they show up.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
I guess Tottenham and United are showing the true diehards.
Yeah.
Um,
We've
Yeah,
got
I
reason to hide in the
do.
closet and we're showing up. So
yeah, yeah. Um, oh shoot, I had another question, but I lost it. I lost my question. Oh well, but yeah, let's keep doing them. They were fun. It was good to get some new
right
people
on, right
on and chat
on.
about it.
Well, I guess that's a wrap.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
watch
everybody stay
this
warm.
Cup.